As we said earlier, the Wall Street Journal's editorial page kind of raining on the president's hard-fought U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade deal today, writing, quote, "The new trade deal could have been worse, given Mr. Trump's protectionist beliefs, but that's about the best we can say for it." So what do businesses directly affected by the deal think about this? Let's ask our next guest, Global Automakers CEO John Bozzella. John, good to see you. Thank you for being here. What did you think of the editorial in the Journal?
Yeah, I can understand it. You know, it's a fairly good point of view from where I sit. I mean, here's the challenge. I mean, it's good to know what the rules are, so we have the clarity and the certainty of rules, but knowing the rules isn't the same as having a business case. And so I think there is added cost and added complexity to this agreement. And so we'll have to see how it shakes out.
Let's talk about some of those rules, because some of them do make it more challenging. There's no question about that. You got rules on wages. The wages of Mexican laborers have to go up. Of course, that makes it a little more expensive to manufacture in Mexico, manufacture parts. And then you have these rules on content. They have to be 75% of the content has to come from North America for them to get in without any kind of tariff. I mean, these are very difficult ways of measuring things, are they not?
Yeah, they are. And, you know, every trade agreement has to have some rules, that, you know, allow you to, you know, you follow those rules and you get the benefits of the trade agreement. But these are certainly way more complex than the agreement that this would replace. And so, you know, I think it will be a challenge for automakers to sort through it. So they're going to really have to study this thing hard.
But again, the key for the president and his negotiators was not necessarily making it more difficult for global automakers that you represent. I know you represent U.S. companies as well, but we don't as much care about the German and the Japanese automakers. We care about U.S. manufacturers, making it easier and less expensive for them to manufacture here in the United States. Will it at least do that?
Well, you know, we should care about those companies because those are the companies that build cars and trucks here. There are 14 car companies.
I understand. Listen, I understand, John, but specifically about U.S. car manufacturers, I know that there are foreign manufacturers that manufacture here, but will it make it easier and cheaper for U.S. manufacturers to do their business?
Yeah, I think the jury's still out on that. So the companies are going to have to analyze this. There's no question that if you are more integrated in this market, probably compliance will be a little easier for you. So companies that are based here are probably more integrated, as are companies that have been here for a long time, like Toyota and Honda. So clearly there's a range of ability to comply here, or ease of compliance here, and the companies are going to have to work through it.
Now, John, real free trade is also fair trade, and there's nothing fairer than zero tariffs going in and zero tariffs coming out. The president has said that is his goal, at least with regard to European auto manufacturers, presumably manufacturers everywhere. Does this get us closer to that goal, to bringing us all down?
Yeah, well, by the way, I share the president's goals. 0 for 0 is exactly where we should be for automotive trade, and I hope it does. I hope this does create the opportunity now for us to move to U.S. EU and then move to U.S. Japan. But, you know, we'll have to see. You know, there is a threat of other tariffs out there. Steel and aluminum tariffs. But you know
you know how the president uses these tariffs as threats, and as a result of using them as threats, he gets trade deals like the one he just got with Canada.
But the threats have consequences. These aren't just threats. The steel and aluminum tariffs are already increasing the cost of production.
They're part of a process of getting us out of bad trade deals, very simply.
And the consequences of that, there is risk. If
no doubt.
If in fact we get the deal and the steel and aluminum tariffs go away and the auto tariffs go away, that'd be one thing. But they're still here.
But you know what? You don't get anywhere in life if you don't take risks. And I think that's the president's point. We're stuck in some bad deals. We're trying to get out. But I accept your notion. There are risks, and we got to be aware of what they are. John, great to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.